We don't walk like them, we don't talk like them, we don't chase the trends, we don't blend in. Marked by the word, sealed by the flame, set apart in Yah's holy name. We were chosen in the fire, not the fame. We don't bow when they call our name. Don't mistake silence for shame. We're royalty, we're not the same.
You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Come out from among them and be separate. Corinthians 6:17. We're set apart. We ain't the same. Carried his name through the fire and the pain. We were chosen, not for show, but to walk in truth the world don't know. We're set apart, oh yes we are, shining like a promise under Yah's bright stars. We're set apart, we're not the same. We were made to glorify his name.
They say conform, but we refuse. We don't wear their chains or walk in their shoes. Our law is love, our steps are light. We follow Torah, we walk upright. Their gods are gold, their altars cracked. We serve the one who's coming back. We don't need fame, we don't need applause. We bow to Yah, the only cause.
You shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed. We're set apart, we ain't the same. Covered by blood, not covered in blame. We're the ones he kept through the storm, a nation reborn, a people transformed. We're set apart, chosen by grace, called out from every land and place. We're set apart, we're not ashamed, 'cause we were made to glorify his name. Who are we? We the chosen, we the light, in his word, in his might, set apart, we made to shine. The most high all the time, and they shall be mine, says Yah, in the day when I make up my truth. We're set apart, we ain't the same. We walk with purpose, not with shame. We're set apart, oh yes it's true, oh yes it's true. Shows us long before we knew. We're set apart, with truth in hand, people from every land. We're set apart, not here for fame, We rise in power in Yah's great name.
Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better than me. I got to tell you about the morning I had. Look, y'all, anytime there's a lot of energy coming down on the earth, I don't know how some of you are, and I think I've told you this before, it always impacts me physically. I literally, if there's an eclipse going on, I physically feel the energy coming down on the earth. Well, you know, 3-Eye Atlas is going to make its pass near the earth. When I woke up this morning, y'all, I could not hold food down. And I'm better now, you know. I did manage to eat something and it finally did stay down. My head hurts a little bit, but I'm okay. But I've always been this way. It's weird. I mean, I guess that's my proof I'm connected with the universe, but it's always something weird happening to me when there is something major going on in the heavens. It's just weird. But anyway, I'm here. I'm okay. I'll get through it. I always do. So, we're going to talk about this radiation fog. And I thank my California family out there for also letting me know what's going on. And plus, I've been watching Big Judah and looking at the things that he's been talking about on this subject matter. So, shout out to Big Judah. And I do have a clip of his recent live on here as well as some of the people that have reached out to me to let me know what was going on in California. I didn't know how bad this thing was. And it really depends on how bad, what area you're in depends on how bad it is. One of my subscribers that live out there reached out to me and said, it is so bad where she is. Not only can she see the fog, they said they can smell and taste it. And I said, are you freaking kidding me? They said, no, the stuff is ground level. And when you step outside, you literally can smell it and you can taste it in your mouth. That is like absolutely crazy, y'all. And they said some places in California, they haven't seen the sun in like a month. It is crazy. I said, why is this stuff not making big news? It should really be exploding on the news. So anyway, look, y'all, if something ain't going away, that ain't no fog. You may be defining it as fog, but if you're going out during the day and you're going out at night and that stuff is still there, that ain't no fog, you know? But I guess it is, you're defining it the best way that you know how to. But if that stuff is around 24/7, that ain't no damn fog. So, thank you for everybody that's, tried to keep me informed, but this is crazy. But I'm going to show y'all some of the videos so you can see is these are actual people down on the ground driving through it. I want y'all to see how bad it is. So you're getting ready to see ground zero on this. And Big Judah, shout out to him because he showed us ground zero too. But it is bad depending on where you are in California. Y'all be careful out there. And not to mention, y'all, all it takes is a strong wind, and that stuff can travel across the country. They may be dealing with it now. The rest of us could be dealing with it. You never know. With the way the weather pattern is and these strong winds, that stuff could easily be pushed out of California and pushed along and across the country. It's a dry, moist fall. Yeah, I mean, just from what I was seeing, that stuff is everywhere, y'all. And on top of that, ground level too. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you could see like some of the people driving, you could see it on their windshield and stuff. I mean, this stuff is crazy. So I'm gonna show it to you, and you're gonna really get a good look at it. Y'all be careful because I don't even know what kind of impact this is having on your health. I feel for any children or even adults that are having respiratory problems because, you just don't know the long term impact this is going to have on people. So be careful being out there. I know, you're under circumstances where you have to be. People got to go to work, kids got to go to school, life happens and you got to be out there. But be careful if you have to, if you can be indoors for real. All right, y'all, let me share my screen so we can get started. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have to be out there, you know, don't. But if you got an air purifier or anything that you can turn on that will clean the air in your house, turn it on. We had to get that. I told y'all we were getting all the smoke coming down from Canada, their wildfires. And it used to be, I mean, it was so bad when you went outside, you could literally smell the burn in the air and you could feel it, in your throat, your eyes, and everything. So I had to buy air purifiers. And now, I mean, we got them all around the house. So, on days when it was bad, I would have to have all of them on. So, you do what you have to do, and they're really not that expensive. You don't have to have the most expensive one. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Grand rising. Do you see how my power is working? Do you see how our power is working? See, when you have the Holy Spirit for reals and she's bringing all things back into remembrance, then you can see when you're getting messages and downloads from the Most High through the Holy Spirit. Mysterious 400-mile stretch of radiation fog blankets 13 million Americans. 400 years of captivity. This mysterious fog, this time that we were under a fog of no understanding on our own lands, when we were forced to think that we were Africans and that these lands were given to these Siberian Huskies, and that, we weren't the original Mexicans. We were not the people that Columbus found, and that they brought 20 million of us over here on slave ships over the Atlantic. You cannot make this up. The 400 years are complete. 1619 to 2019. Everything collapsed on you in 2020. Everything was shut down. Everything was shut down worldwide after we had completed our 400 years. But you guys wanted to forward the affliction. You have been praying this whole time to go back to normal. But every day and every year after 2019, you are coming to the realization that you are never going to have those days again. Now, you understand that, like, America, and especially even like California, represents the far west, and China represents the far east. So look at this 400-mile stretch covering and blanketing the far west, because that's what it did. You guys brought nothing but rape, rob, murder, and destruction. You burned all of our books. You disconnected us from our land. You did Jeremiah 17:4 and disconnected us from our heritage. You killed way more than you were supposed to. That goes back to the book of Enoch and the 70 shepherds.
Can somebody please explain to me why there is a 400-mile toxic fog stretching from northern to southern California currently right now, leaving 13 million people in danger of even going outside? Pregnant women are advised to not breathe, and elderly should be on an oxygen mask the entire time because this fog is full of all kinds of toxic garbage. Everything from car exhaust to energy power plants to cloud seeding stuff that is left over in this fog. And it has been hovering for way too long. It's not blowing out. and this occurrence continues to happen. So please, somebody explain, how is this possible? This is a phenomenon that continues to happen in the United States now, and it's a recent new thing where you have these toxic fog layers move in, stick around, and poison everybody who breathes air.
The radiation fog in California has a lot of people concerned. If you're from California, you know that we have this thing called Tule fog every winter, but a lot of people are saying that this time it is different. And let me tell you guys, you are correct. If you look online right now, it will literally tell you, do not go outside when the fog is very thick, because it is currently contaminated and it's best to stay indoors. So for all you guys that are saying, wait a minute, even though I'm from California, this feels a little weird. Why does it smell a little different? Why does it feel a little different? Why does it stay in my car for so long? You're not going crazy. You're actually correct. And if you have a newborn, be very careful. Try to keep him indoors when the fog is out. And yes, it's called radiation fog, but they're also stating that it doesn't really have radiation. That's just the term that they use for this fog. They're also stating that it's unhealthy due to increased amounts of PM 2.5. Now, a lot of people are thinking this is why we're always getting sick in the wintertime instead of in the summertime. But I'm very curious to know what are your thoughts about this down below in the comments. And like always, don't forget to follow for more viral news. Ciao, pescado.
Breathe in the air.
Y'all, the apocalypse is in LA. Look at this fog. And apparently they're saying it's radioactive. We had the fires in January and radioactive fog in December. Like, will this year end?
Breaking news, a thick layer of radiation fog is covering Central California, leaving more than 13 million people stranded. The phenomenon called radiation fog is unrelated to nuclear radiation, but it creates an equally dangerous situation. A thick layer of fog forms when the ground cools rapidly after sunset, compressing the air close to the ground like putting a lid on a pot of steaming water. The result, all the car exhaust, agricultural dust, industrial emissions, and PM2. 5 particles are trapped right where people breathe. Health experts warn that this can cause a sudden increase in asthma symptoms, coughing, chest pain, and even heart problems. From Sacramento to Fresno, Bakersfield, Oakland, millions of people are living in a fog compressed between 2 layers of air, cold below and warm above. And while this air cap remains open, pollution can build up exponentially. Local hospitals have been reporting a surge in new emergency cases, and the weather agency has been issuing very high-risk warnings to the public. Is this just a short-term seasonal warning or a sign of more complex environmental changes to come? Comment below and follow me for updates.
I have been keeping an eye on this California radiation fog, mostly because my brain just keeps going back to that one time in the 1950s when Californians were sprayed without their knowledge because the government wanted to see how fast the radiological agent could spread throughout a major city. And a lot of people got sick. One person did pass, and this is not a conspiracy theory. It actually happened. It took decades for them to declassify the files, but look into it. It's called Operation Sea Spray. But this fog in California is being called radiation fog by both the media and the residents, but there's differing perspectives on what actually is happening. And I'm going to add a few videos that I've seen at the end of this, but some people are saying it's causing sore throats and respiratory issues, and other people are saying that this fog happens every year. It's nothing to worry about. It's called Tule fog. But people in Cali are saying they haven't seen the sun in days. The birds aren't flying. And I'm not saying I agree with this, but people are saying there's some genetically modified stuff in the fog. I don't know. But from the way that I started this video, I'm sure you could tell that I'm not putting anything past anyone, especially our government. And I don't even live in Cali, but I'm tapped in because if this is something nefarious, then it could happen anywhere, right? But I don't know. There's so many conflicting takes that I've seen. Some people are saying it is normal for Cali to be foggy, but it typically gets foggy at different points of the day. Apparently, Tule fog has been happening less and less. And the last major stretch of consecutive days like this was in the 1980s. So, I mean, if you want to call that normal, I don't know. Some people are just saying that it's different. They're comparing it to movies like The Fog or The Mist, and other people are saying it's just normal. They're calling it radiation fog because the heat is radiating back into the atmosphere. So, I don't know, y'all. I know there's a lot going on in the world in many places, but what do y'all think? Conspiracy theory or a cause for concern?
This is what's known as radiation fog. And contrary to maybe what you've heard on social media, this is not going to affect your health. It just means the transfer of energy when we talk about radiation fog. It is extremely common in the winter across California.
Some people using handheld detectors are getting higher readings than normal. One explanation is radon. Radon is naturally occurring radioactive gas that leaks out of the ground. So if this is radon, it could simply mean the earth under California is under pressure. And speaking of pressure, the global earthquake activity has been climbing. So when you see a massive fog bank and you mix that with the possible radon readings, you cannot help but notice the timing.
The conspiracy theorists have one thing right. This is is radiation fog, but it's not the radiation you're likely thinking of. There's nothing radioactive about it. We get light from the sun, all these different wavelengths, mainly invisible light, hitting down to the earth and warming up the surface. It absorbs that radiation. And so we cool off the ground surface, and the air right above the ground cools off very quickly. Accordingly, can't support as much water vapor, and it condenses into fog.
For everyone who keeps saying that this is just normal fog, you're a liar, respectfully. While the Thule fog is a normal phenomenon, it's been happening less and less in recent decades. And the last long stretch like this was 16 days in the 80s. And we're now on day 22. Okay, so nope, not normal.
September 1950, the U.S. Navy conducted an experiment without the public's knowledge called Operation Sea Spray. They were spraying the clouds with harmless bacteria. Yes, in the Central Valley, every year around this time, they get a thing called Thule fog, but this year, it's different. Okay, Central Valley is one of the nation's largest producers of food. So if you believe that things are being sprayed above our heads without our knowledge, without our consent, why then would somebody want to do it over one of the largest producers of food in the U.S.?
Y'all remember the movie The Mist? Is that not exactly what's going on with California right now? A radiation fog is covering California, and it's in California now. But it's only a matter of time before the gusts of wind sweep it everywhere.
This fog in California, LA, is not normal, y'all. You know how my videos usually look, right? You know how I love to watch the clouds. Even, I also might add, I like to look for the mountains as well. Well, baby, that's not an option today. I'm going to go ahead and put a patent number. Yes, a patent for fog. Because the people that are about to be taken off this planet, okay, for entertainment purposes only, do not want the sun children, God's real chosen people, to have the sun. Do you understand that that's an energy source when you actually have melanin? It's actually your charging port in the sky. I noticed this when I moved in this area because I'm used to being at a home, okay? A nice 3-bedroom home. I'm not used to being this high in the sky. I love it. But it allows me to see how dense and crazy this fog is. So I'm going to put the patent number here. I want you to Google it. Okay? If you are going out today and you have to, I am praying for you. If you have to walk in this, drive in this, please be careful. May God cover you. But this is ridiculous. And it needs to get wrapped up because I love the sun. I love for it to give me my tan. I love that. I noticed too, I want to put it out there, that a few days ago, even in December, it was hot. It was very interesting. It was hot. And as soon as it started to get hot, I noticed then the fog would drop. I love you. Have a blessed day. Until next time.
Breathe in the air. I'm sorry, sweet, please don't go. I always knew that you would know.
So now the radiation fog that's in California is a cause for concern. But they said this is normal for Californians. So if you're from California, is this normal for y'all? And they say that the radiation fog is not really radiation fog. That's just a name. But every time you look at something, why do you always gotta name something so weird, fool? But the crazy thing is, this name fits because they're urging people in California where this fog is taking place to stay inside. As you can see right here, air pollution impact on newborns. As you can see right here, unhealthy due to increased amounts of PM 2.5. Hey, another one. I'm hearing you got people that lived in California for a while that never experienced it like this. That shit crazy, fool. So down below in the comments, I need y'all to leave y'all thoughts on what's going on in California. What is this fog from? Is this normal? Is it not normal?
I'm sorry, sweet, please don't go. I always knew that you would know.
Breaking news, a thick layer of radiation fog is covering central California, leaving more than 13 million people stranded. The phenomenon called radiation fog is unrelated to nuclear radiation, but it creates an equally dangerous situation. A thick layer of fog forms when the ground cools rapidly after sunset, compressing the air close to the ground like putting a lid on a pot of steaming water. The result, all the car exhaust, agricultural dust, industrial emissions, and PM2. 5 particles are trapped right where people breathe. Health experts warn that this can cause a sudden increase in asthma symptoms, coughing, chest pain, and even heart problems. From Sacramento to Fresno, Bakersfield, Oakland, millions of people are living in a fog compressed between 2 layers of air, cold below and warm above. And while this air cap remains open, pollution can build up exponentially. Local hospitals have been reporting a surge in new emergency cases, and the weather agency has been issuing very high-risk warnings to the public. Is this just a short-term seasonal warning or a sign of more complex environmental changes to come?
We have not seen the sun in 26 days in the Central Valley of California. Radiation fog. What the hell is radiation fog? I've lived here for 42 years, and we've never seen anything like this. This is insane. I don't know if this is cloud seeding. I don't know. If it is, they need to stop. We don't need any more clouds over here. We've clearly got enough. They're not going anywhere. And whoever is working at Apple's weather app, whoever is in charge of updating our area needs to be fired. Partly cloudy, partly sunny. No, nope. You're giving false hope to people that are waking up that day thinking they might get to see the sunshine. We haven't seen it. It's gone. We are under a layer of fog. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. I am not the type of person that can handle this at all. I have to be outside. I like to be outside in my yard. I like to work in my yard. I like to garden, and it is too cold. 46 degrees in fog. It's wet and it's cold. And I don't know what to do. What can you do? It was supposed to rain. Look at this. Going crazy. It was supposed to rain. It was supposed to rain. We were happy we were going to get rain, hoping that maybe it would push this out of here. And now we're not going to get any rain. It just shows cloud cover for the next 10 days. Send help, please. Oh, you know what you could do? Send pictures of what the sun looks like. Videos, sunsets, sunrises. I don't care at this point. Send help.
I was just joking when I said I saw a fog cloud, but this is abnormal. This is abnormal for Torrance at 10 o'clock. You guys heard that you guys heard about the fog cloud? There it is. The fog cloud in Los Angeles coming through Torrance. Eyes are burning. I really don't want to breathe this in, but I have to walk the dog. You got about 20 feet visibility. You can usually see the end of the block. Look at that. more over there in front of my house. But it's all over the place.
That fog is so thick that's covering California that these birds don't know where the fuck to go. Look at all these fucking birds. They supposed to be flying south for the winter. They still stuck in Northern California. Like, what the fuck is really in that fog that got these birds acting like this?
All right, y'all. You see that? I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. There are so many things. Look, we're just where I am. We're just coming out of a polar vortex. We've been in the deep freeze for about 3-4 weeks. And we just came out of it about a day ago. We were going down to like 13 degrees at night with a wind chill factor of 4 degrees because of the winds. And it's been going on, I think, since like the end of November all the way up until about a day ago. So we've been in a deep freeze all that time. And we're just today, it's like 50 degrees. And I think tomorrow we're going to be about 60 degrees. So we're just coming out of it. So we've been going through all of this. It's been cold and very windy. Very windy. Daytime temperatures in the 20s, nighttime temperatures in the teens. And man, I couldn't wait for this thing to move out. It was almost like every day you open the door and it would just hit you right in the face. So we're finally getting back to our normal temperatures around this time of the year. But it's not quite as extreme as it is in California. So, but y'all, like I said, I'll keep my Israelite family out there in prayer and hope that you will all be safe, stay prayed up with the Most High, and and take all the right precautions when you have to step outside in that stuff. That is just crazy. I saw a plane and I think it was doing chemtrails this morning because when I was feeling nauseated, it was like 5 in the morning and I just happened to look outside and I looked up and it was a plane real high in the sky. And I think it was doing chemtrails up there this morning. So, another thing I wanted to mention, 3i Atlas is going to be doing its close approach, close to Earth. People are live streaming it, y'all. So if you can catch a live stream, I'm going to be looking at the one on space.com. And they're supposed to be broadcasting at 11 Eastern time. And what I'll do is, what I'll do, y'all? I'll post the link in my community tab for anybody that's interested in seeing, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of people live streaming tonight. So just in case you want to see the approach as it comes past Earth, I'm going to try to catch it since so many people are live streaming. So what I'll do is I'll put the link in the community tab. So for anybody that's interested. So y'all, yeah, I heard it did turn gold. View star 404. I did. I heard about that about 2 days ago. Yeah, it went from green. I think it had turned green and now it's turned a gold color, they said. Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah. So, y'all, thank you for being here. And also keep in mind the sale is still going on. You can get your 30 off. And another good thing, I spoke to my vendor about my jars being held up because I still didn't get my jars for my edge growth butter. And they're going to reship my jars to me. And they're going to send the jars by FedEx. So they're going to go out Friday. So hopefully the beginning of next week, I should have the jars. And if I do get my jars, I will be able to get the edge growth butter out at least by the beginning of next week. So I am so happy. So they've been real good. They've been keeping in touch with me, been very concerned about the fact that I haven't gotten the jars. So they're going to reship the jars to me. And hopefully it's coming by FedEx. I should get the jars. I'm praying that there will be no hangups this time. So those of you that have been waiting for the edge growth butter, hopefully the wait won't be too much longer. So I did want to inform you about that. So everybody, I got my next live coming up. It should be at 2:45. You will see it when we're done with this live. So I will see you then. And it's about the Nigerians, y'all. The Nigerians, they just pulled their visa, y'all, permanently. The Nigerians cannot come here on visas anymore. So we'll talk about that at 2:45, and I will see you then. Shalom, family.